In this video, I will discuss derivatives in implicit form. Differentiate each term of the equation functions of x and y is equal to 0. With respect to x, bearing in mind y is a function of x. Remember, power formula. The derivatives of y raised to n is equals to the power n, copy the base y, subtract 1 from the exponent, multiply by the derivatives of the base, which is dy over dx. Use symbols. Instead of using dy over dx for the derivatives of y with respect to x, we're going to use y prime. And for the second derivatives of y with respect to x, we're going to use y double prime. Find the derivatives of y with respect to x. Use the given relation in its implicit form. Number 1, x raised to the third power plus 2 times y raised to the third power is equals to 4a times y. The derivatives of x cubed using power formula, just copy the power 3, multiply by the base x, subtract 1 from the exponent, or 3 minus 1 is equals to 2, multiply by the derivatives of the base, which is x, and the derivatives of x is equals to 1, plus derivatives of 2y cubed, just multiply 2 times 3 is equals to 6, just copy the base, which is y, subtract 1 from the exponent, and that is becomes 2, multiply by the derivatives of y with respect to x. The derivatives of y with respect to x, we are using y prime. Is equals to derivatives of 4ay, just copy 4a, which is constant, multiply by the derivatives of y, which is equals to y prime. Simplify, therefore, 3x squared plus 6y squared y prime is equals to 4a y prime. Transpose y prime to the right side, to the left side of the equation. Therefore, 6y squared y prime, 4ay prime becomes negative, equals to, transpose also 3x squared to the right side of the equation, and that is becomes negative 3x squared. Factor y prime. Therefore, the coefficient of y prime, which is 6y squared minus 4a, is equals to negative 3x squared. Divide the entire equation by the coefficient of y prime. Therefore, y prime is equals to negative 3x squared all over 6y squared minus 4a. Problem number 2, x squared plus y cubed is equal to 4xy. The derivatives of x squared using power formula, just copy the exponent, which is 2, multiply by the base x, then 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. Derivatives of x, which is the base, which is 1, plus the derivatives of y cubed using also power formula, just copy the exponent, which is 3, multiply by the base y, subtract 1 from the exponent, which is 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. Then multiply by the derivatives of the base, which is y, and the derivatives of y, which is y prime, is equals to the derivatives for xy, that is the derivatives of the product. Just factor out the constant 4 multiplied by the derivatives of the product. Just copy the first product, which is x, multiplied by the derivatives of the second, which is y prime, plus copy the second product, which is y, multiplied by the derivatives of the first, which is the derivatives of x, is equals to 1. Simplify, 2x plus 3y squared y prime is equals to 4xy prime plus 4y. Transpose y prime to the left side of the equation, and that is now becomes negative 4xy prime plus 3y squared y prime is equals to, transpose 2x to the right side of the equation becomes negative 2x, then just copy 4y. Factor out y prime. Therefore, the coefficient of y prime is negative 4x plus 3y squared, which is equals to negative 2x plus 4y. Divide the entire equation by the coefficient of y prime. Therefore, y prime, or the derivative of y with respect to x, is equals to negative 2x plus 4y all over negative 4x plus 3y squared. Example number 3, determine the derivatives of y with respect to x of the function. The quantity x cubed minus y squared raised to the fourth power is equals to 4a times y raised to the third power. The derivatives of the quantity x cubed minus y squared raised to the fourth power using power formula, just copy power, which is 4, multiply by the base, which is x cubed minus y squared, then subtract 1 from the exponent, or 4 minus 1 is equals to 3. Multiply by the derivatives of the base. The derivatives of x cubed using power formula again, just copy 3, which is the exponent, and subtract 1 from the exponent, and that is becomes x squared. Multiply by the base, which is x, and the derivatives of x, which is equals to 1. Minus the derivatives of y squared using also power formula, just copy the power, which is 2, multiply by the base y, then subtract 1 from the exponent, or 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. Multiply by the derivatives of the base, which is the derivatives of y, is equals to y prime. Equals to the derivatives of 4a times y cubed. Just factor out the constant 4a, multiply by the derivatives of y cubed. Just copy the power 3, copy the base y, subtract 1 from the exponent, and that is becomes 2, multiply by the derivatives of the base, or the derivatives of y, which is equals to y prime. Simplify. 4 times 3 is equals to 12x squared times x cubed minus y squared times r raised to the third power minus 2yy prime multiplied by 4 is equals to negative 8yy prime times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power, which is equals to 4a times 3y squared y prime is equals to 12ay squared y prime. Transpose y prime to the left side of the equation, 12ay squared y prime becomes negative. Then just copy negative 8yy prime times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power is equals to transpose 12x cubed times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power, and that is becomes negative. Factor out y prime. Therefore, the coefficient of y prime is negative 12ay squared minus the coefficient of y prime, the second term is 8y times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power. Then just copy negative 12x squared times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power. Next, divide the entire equation by the coefficient of y prime. Therefore, y prime, or the derivatives of y with respect to x, is equals to, just copy negative 12x squared times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power divided by the coefficient of y prime, which is negative 12ay squared minus 8y times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power. Y prime is equals to negative 12x squared times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power, and the denominator, which is factorable by 4. Just factor out 4 for the denominator. 12 divided by negative 4 is equals to 3ay squared. Negative 8y divided by 4, that is equals to positive 2y, then times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power. Therefore, the derivatives of y with respect to x, or y prime, is equals to negative 12 divided by 4 is equals to 3x squared times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power all over 3ay squared plus 2y times x cubed minus y squared raised to the third power. Sample number 4. Higher derivatives in implicit form. If y is equals to 4ax, find the secant derivative of y double prime. Y squared is equals to 4ax. The derivatives of y squared, just copy the exponent which is 2, multiply by the base y, subtract 1 from the exponent or 2 minus 1, the exponent of y is understood 1. Multiply by the derivatives of y, which is y prime, is equals to the derivatives of 4ax, just copy the coefficient 4a, multiply by the derivatives of x, which is equals to 1. Simplify 2y prime is equals to 4a. Divide the entire equation by the coefficient of y prime. Therefore, y prime is equals to 4a all over 2y. Or we can still simplify y prime is equals to 2a all over y. So this is now the first derivative. Since the required is the secant derivative, so meaning we're going to determine the derivatives of the first derivatives. The derivatives of y prime is equals to y double prime is equals to, and the derivatives of 2a all over y using the derivatives of the quotient. Just copy the denominator, which is y, multiply by the derivatives of the numerator 2a, since that is constant, is equals to 0. Minus, just copy the numerator 2a, multiply by the derivatives of the denominator, which is y, and the derivatives of y, which is equals to y prime, divided by the square of the denominator, which is y squared. Simplify, y double prime is equal to negative 2ay prime all over y squared. Substitute the value of y prime. Therefore, this is now equals to negative 2a multiplied by the value of y prime, which is equals to 2a all over y divided by y squared. Simplify, therefore, the secant derivatives of 4ax, y squared 4ax is equals to negative 4a squared all over y cubed. Number 5, slope in implicit form. Find the slope of x times x squared minus y squared is equals to 3 at point negative 1 and 2. The derivatives of x times x squared minus y squared using the derivatives of a product. Copy the first product, which is x, multiply by the derivatives of the second product or the derivatives of x squared, just copy the exponent, which is 2, multiplied by the base x, subtract 1 from the exponent or 2 minus 1 is equals to 1 times the derivatives of the base, which is x, the derivative is 1, minus the derivatives of y squared, just copy the exponent, which is 2, copy the base y, and subtract 1 from the exponent, and the derivatives of the base or the derivatives of y, which is equals to y prime, plus copy the secant product, which is x squared minus y squared, multiplied by the derivatives of the first product, which is x, and the derivatives of x is equals to 1, is equals to the derivatives of 3 is equals to 0. Then simplify, x times 2x is 2x squared, x times 2y prime is equals to 2xy prime, then plus x squared minus y squared is equals to 0. Combine similar terms, 2x squared plus x squared becomes 3x squared, then just copy 2xy prime minus y squared is equals to 0. Then substitute the value of x, which is at point negative 1 and 2. Therefore, the value of x, which is equals to negative 1, 3 times negative 1 squared, minus, copy 2, multiply by the value of x, which is negative 1, and the value of y, which is equals to 2, and the value of your y prime, which is the slope, which is denoted as m, minus the value of y, which is 2, is equals to 0. Then 3 minus 1 squared is equals to 3. Negative 2 times negative 1 times 2 is equals to positive 4 times m. Minus 4 is equals to 0. 3 minus 4 is equals to negative 1 is equals to 0. Transpose 1 to the right side of the equation, 4m therefore is equals to positive 1. Then divide the entire equation by the coefficient of m, therefore the slope which is equals to 1 all over 4.